Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another closer look sort of unboxing video today. In the next few weeks and next few months I'm going to be doing a few videos over one of my favourite and probably most people's favourite band, the Beatles. Just because I've got I want to go through my favourite sort of Beatle albums. I don't have the most massive Beatle collection because I am not a completist. I kind of wish I was when it comes to the Beatles, but I know I'm missing loads and loads. So when I do go through my Beatle collection, a lot of people are going to say, you haven't got that, you haven't got that. I know. But I'll also go through some of the artists individually, like George Harrison, John Lennon. And today we're going to look at Paul McCartney. Now, with my Paul McCartney, I don't have many. I really don't have many Paul McCartney albums. I just don't know where to start because there's loads. There's Paul McCartney, and Wings and stuff like that. So I don't know where to start. But to be honest, I have one box set that I've had sitting on my shelf with my Beatles thing that I haven't even opened yet. And I thought, this is pretty much covers his whole career and pretty much nearly everything I kind of need. And it's called Pure McCartney. It's been out a little while now, but it's got 4 discs of his back catalogue. And also coming out, there's a double CD coming out of Wings coming out in November, I think. But I'm not going to go for that. If I want some of the Wings stuff, there will be some on here. I will get those albums individually. You know, like Venus and Mars and Band on the Run, things like that. I don't have those. I don't. I know it's crazy. Being a huge Beatles fan, and I'm a massive Beatles fan, but I'm so far behind with my sort of music collecting because most of my money goes on my movies. So that's where my money goes because that is my main hobby, is horror movies. But obviously from a childhood, before horror movies, music was my thing. And, you know, Paul McCartney was a big influence on that. I was really young, you see. So I heard Paul McCartney before I heard the Beatles. And that's crazy, right? Although my uncle loved the Beatles, he really, really did. I don't know if I've got it here. Hang on, because I've got his LP here. Give me a second, guys. I'm so disorganised again. I might have it here. Yeah, I do. Now, this is his LP that used to be his before he passed away, and my grandmother gave it to me. And it is the album of Abbey Road of the Beatles. He got this, I believe, on release. So I still have this album of his that that used to be his. So let's just have a look at it. I haven't even played it, guys. I've got a bit of fluff on it. Sorry, I've not even played it because I can't. Because I don't have a record player. My son keeps nagging me. He says, "Dad, get yourself a record player." So yeah, let's have a little look at this release here, the Beatles. This is what I'm like, innit? I get so distracted that I tend to forget what I'm actually doing. I can't even find my glasses, so I can't look at it. Maybe we'll look at this when I do my Beatles day. But I will be doing some more Beatles stuff and some John Lennon stuff. I've got a John Lennon. I'm going to go through my favourite albums of his. Again, I don't have too many of his, and I don't have hardly any of George Harrison's, but I'll go through them, and I love them both. I really, really do. What stuff I've got of them, I hold deep to my heart, and I love it. But I do have a John Lennon box set on pre-order, so I'm hoping when that comes, I'll do an unboxing. But anyway, yes, Abbey Road. Anyway, back to Paul McCartney. So yeah, I don't have hardly anything of Paul McCartney, but I do have a special item of Paul McCartney's, and we'll have a look at that when we do the deep down look at this box set. So let's do that now then. So here we are. Here is the box set of Paul McCartney called Pure McCartney. We're going to have a look at this today. So it's got on the back all the track listing, so we'll go through that first. On CD1 we have Maybe I'm Amazed, Heart of the Country, Jet, Warm and Beautiful, Listen to What the Man Said, Dear Boy, Silly Love Songs, the songs we were singing, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey, Early Days, Big Barn Bed, Another Day, Flaming Pie, Jenny Wren, Too Many People, Let Me Roll It, and New. On disc 2 we have Live and Let Die, English Tea, Mull of Kintyre, Save Us, My Love, Bit Bop, Let 'Em In, 1985, Calico Skies, Hi Hi Hi, Waterfalls, I do like Waterfalls, Band on the Run, Appreciate, Sing the Changes, Arrow Through Me, Every Night, Junior's Farm, Mrs. Vanderbilt. Disc 3, Say Say Say, My Valentine, Pipes of Peace, The World Tonight, Souvenir, Dance Tonight, Ebony and Ivory, Fine Line, Here Today, Press, Wanderlust, Wine Dark Open Sea, Beautiful Night, Girlfriend, Queenie Eye, We All Stand Together. And on disc 4 we've got Coming Up, Too Much Rain, Good Times Coming, Feel the Sun, Good Night Tonight, Baby's Request, With a Little Luck, Little Willow, Only Mama Knows, Don't Let It Bring You Down, The Back Seat of My Car, No More Lonely Nights, Great Day, Venus and Mars, Rock Show, Temporary Secretary, and Hope for the Future. Last track is Junk. So that is the track listing on this set. So let's get this open. Unfortunately, I think I've left my scissors and knife over there, but this is quite easy one to open. So we take that off. There's no stickers on it to need to save. So there we go. We've now got that off. And this is the box set. So we'll open it up and we're greeted there with some old pictures of Paul. Thank you. I don't believe that's signed. I think that's just printed. It's too shiny to be signed. But yeah, Paul McCartney's there. We've got some rare sort of photographs as we go through these early books there. And then we have quite a bit of information. Put my glasses back on. 1 minute, guys. Let me put my glasses back on. Yeah, this is the breakdown of the songs. With obviously photographs in between. So Paul there, where is he there? Is he, I think he's on the Thames there, River Thames. I thought it was going to be the Mersey. Some of the pictures are quite dark, but they're quite nice. Do like them. Again, one of my pet hates, like I said, when the pictures split like that. Takes it out of that picture, which is a shame. More songs, and he's grown a moustache there. Basil 40 look. Again, the picture ruined by that there. Good quality paper though. It's really glossy and nice paper. That's a lovely picture, that one. Looks so young there. think that's on, was it the Pipes of Peace? Wow, what are you doing there, mate? Is it going for the David Bowie look there, or Lena Lovage? That looks like it's from the Ebony and Ivory track with Stevie Wonder. He's such a warm man. That's a great picture. There he is with a double bass. And then we come to the end where we have like information about some of the remastering. All the tracks on it are remastered. And then we come to this, it's hard bit of card there. But anyway, we've got disc 1 in there, and I've told you the tracks. Nice picture there. And disc 2. Another great picture. Disc 3. Cool. And then disc 4. And that's a great classic sort of picture there. Probably singing one of the tracks from Band on the Run. And that is the box set of Paul McCartney, Pure. And to be honest, like I said, it covers so many tracks that I think I've never needed to really go and buy any more. But as lately I've been trying to sort of fill up some gaps in my Beatle collection. I've been looking at Paul and George, not so much John Lennon. Like I said, I've got some of his albums, the one I like, and I've also got like a pre-order coming. And I've pretty much, I've got the Beatles. I think I've pretty much got all the studio albums and things like that. But we'll have a look at that in another day. But yeah, this has got pretty much so much on it that it covers pretty much everything I like. 32, 42, 50. It's got 67 tracks on there, so that's a lot of Paul McCartney. I do have another album of his. This one here, McCartney 2. I did buy this one because I really liked it, and it contained one of my favourite tracks, Waterfalls, which is on there. This has the tracks Coming Up, Temporary Secretary, On the Way, Waterfalls, Nobody Knows, Front Parlour, Summer Days Song, Frozen Jap, Bogey Music, and Dark Room, and One of These Days. It almost comes in the same sort of cover as the ones in the Thin Lizzy box set, and this booklet is attached to it like this, and it has the lyrics for the song and some great imagery of Paul. Yeah, so very cool. So I have that album, and I have one more album. There's a story behind it which I will tell you about before I show it to you. I was in London years ago. It was a day when this album came out, and I was there. I went into HMV. It might have been Virgin's, one of the two, and I went in there to buy a Nick Cave CD, a couple of Nick Cave and the Bad Seed CDs, and there was a big queue in there in the store. Going down to this downstairs, there was a downstairs part, and I spoke to the staff. I said, "What's going on with this queue?" "Oh, it's a signing." I thought, okay. I said, who is it? I said, "Paul McCartney." And there it is. So I decided to queue up, and thought, okay, well, I'll queue up as well. "Is he signing anything?" He said, "No, he's only signing the new album, which is The Fireman. That's all he's going to sign. He won't sign any other stuff. He's there to promote the new album." I said, fair enough. So I queued up about an hour, and then I got to meet him. I shook his hand and spoke to him a little bit. I said to him about, I wasn't even here to buy this album. I said to him, I've come here to buy a Nick Cave album. And he says, "Oh, I quite like Nick Cave. Which one was it? Or what one can you recommend?" I think he said. And I said, "The Firstborn is Dead." I said, "It's such a great album." Anyway, this was the album that was out, and I have it signed by Sir Paul McCartney, one of the Beatles. So I'm very lucky to have a signed item of the Beatles. And this is the album itself. The stickers I've taken off. Well, it was because it was like, this was on like a, as you can see, one sheet. So it was taken off. We took the cellophane off because it was in cellophane, and I kept the cellophane and I took it and I've put it there. And this is Paul McCartney and Youth, Electric Arguments. And this is the CD, and it comes with like a wonderful kind of arty sort of booklet with Paul McCartney in there and stuff like that. Really, really cool. So I was really lucky to have met Paul McCartney, and that does fit that drawing there, and get this signed. Never played this album. I then open it because now it's signed. I thought I don't want to even open it. The tracks on this album are Nothing Too Much, Just Out of Sight, sorry, Two Magpies, Sing the Changes, Travelling Light, Highway, Light from the Lighthouse, Sun is Shining, Chance Till We're High, Lifelong Passion, Is This Love, Lover in a Dream, Universal Here, Everlasting Now, Don't Stop Running. And that's the track listing on Paul McCartney is the Fireman, which I have a signed copy of. So that is my Paul McCartney collection. Yeah, it's not big, but if any of you guys are a big Paul McCartney fan or Wings fan, yes, there's some Wings stuff on here, but recommend the albums to me to get, because I don't know where to start. I got this one because I like Waterfalls, and then I played it and I actually liked the whole album. This was a great sort of like way of getting a great chunk of his solo material in one go, and this was just on an off chance when I got to meet Paul McCartney and he signed that album. So that is my Paul McCartney collection. So as you can see, my Paul McCartney collection is very, very small, but it's still very cool. Like I said, I have 4 albums in here which are fantastic, and they're all between 17 to 16 tracks per CD. So that's cool. That's like 16 tracks. You're thinking that's a double album, right? Most tracks have like 8 or 9 tracks, so it's like a double album. So double, 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 double. So it's almost like having 8 CDs, really. I'm just trying to kid myself. With obviously McCartney 2, which I own, which is very cool, and of course my collector's item of a signed album by Paul McCartney himself at HMV. I'm sure it was up in London. Yeah, HMV, it definitely was. And that's it, guys. Like I said, I will be doing maybe 2 or 3 Beatles videos over the next few months, and I'll be doing a George Harrison one and a John Lennon one. Sorry, Ringo, I don't own any of your CDs. I'm ashamed, and I should get some point, and when I do, I will do a video about Ringo. And then what I'll probably do after I've done all those at the end of the year, I'll probably do my top 10 favourite Beatle universe albums. Cheers, guys.